the baby. After delivering the baby,
oh no! Fuck. All right, there we go. There we go, chat. All right, let's get it.
After delivering the baby, he carved his initials in her skin with a scalpel.
What?
And even though the nurses saw, they didn't tell the patient. When she got home, she felt excruciating pain. And when she looked in the mirror, she was horrified at what she saw. The cuts left permanent scars, meaning she needed extensive plastic surgery. She sued the doctor for almost $2 million. And even though he lost his medical license, he never went to prison for his crime.
That boy, he wanted to mark his territory, bro. Imagine spending years in med school, training, exams, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, just to throw it away by carving initials in a patient. That's just so dumb. Like, that's outrageous. Very outrageous. All that hard work in medical school just to get kicked out, my boy. You know? Hey, he was happy as heck, though. He was happy. And that's the power of having a good lawyer, too. That is facts, though. That is crazy, bro.
If type A blood is injected into a type B patient, you'll immediately start to have chest pains and feel feverish. And this is because your immune system is attacking the foreign blood, which causes the blood cells to break down. And within just a few minutes, your blood pressure could drop dangerously low, and your organs might begin to be damaged. This could eventually lead to a heart attack if you're not treated.
Dude, I never knew this at all. I wish, Zack D Films is low-key like my teacher. I'm a grown ass man, bro. Real talk. Like this low-key the education I wish we had growing up in school, bro. Real talk. Like that's I never knew that. I never knew that, bro. Real talk.
The day after you die, most of your blood settles in the parts of your body closest to the ground, causing purple and red patches to appear on the skin. Then bacteria and enzymes break down the organs.
And when this happens, you get really stiff, and that's why rigor mortis sets in. Also, when you get blue in the face, that's why people sometimes put makeup all over your body when you're lying in the casket, so you don't look so blotchy there.
After a few weeks, all of the organs and soft tissue, including your eyes, liquefy, and your skin starts to fall off. And over the course of several years, your remaining tissue continues to decay, and eventually all that's left is a skeleton.
Dude, that is so scary. Just thinking about this happens to all of us at one point in our lives. Like, it's gonna happen to us. Like, it's gonna happen to you watching the videos. It's gonna happen to you. Like, you're not safe. I'm playing. Let me stop. Like, that's crazy, bro. Hold up. That is scary, gang. That is very, very scary.
As the heavy ball rolled over,
There you go, chat.
As the heavy ball rolled over them, the landmines would explode. It would be built from nearly 200 bamboo arms with
Are these plungers?
large plates on the ends. A tracker in the center would guide it across minefields, and its weight would detonate the mines buried underground. It could handle the force of several explosions before it needed to return for repairs. This ball could replace those who risked their lives doing this job.
Dang, so thinking about having your leg blown off and then a day after this thing was invented, my boy. Like, you'd be mad as heck, bro.
He opened the package and pulled out a sleek-looking headset with no branding,
That boy got VR.
only a QR code. He scanned it, downloaded the game, and hit launch. He hesitated for a moment, but decided to put on the headset. Immediate bright flashes filled his vision, a loud, deafening tone, then everything went black. He woke up on his floor, dying of thirst and hopelessly confused.
Where did the blood come from?
His phone buzzed and he picked it up. 55 missed calls, hundreds of texts. He looked at the date. 2 days had gone by. He scrolled through the messages. Please turn yourself in. How could you? Why? His mom's
Don't tell me he took somebody out, right? He committed a crime while he was in VR.
message read, I still love you, but you have to go to the cops. One
Wow.
message included a video link. He clicked it. It was him, lighting a house on fire. He was committing multiple terrible crimes. But when he turned to get the headset, it was gone, along with his computer. Sirens approached. Red and blue flooded his room, heart beating out of his chest. His eyes caught the back door, and he decided to run.
Was this based on a true story?
If your kitten
I feel bad for bro, man.
grew to the size of a tiger, you might think it would be cute, but it would weigh over 600 pounds. And unlike a
Dang.
wild animal, it wouldn't be afraid of you. A single pounce would be enough to shatter your ribcage, and a gentle
Dang.
bite would crush your bones. As it played, it
Yo, this man's getting a whole like Mortal Kombat X, fatality right now. Yo, shout out to the actor right here, man.
would bat your head like a toy, breaking your neck. And when it got tired, it could curl up on your chest, slowly choking you to death.
Bro, this man's severing several fatalities right now.
If you pulled out your femur and got a splinter from it, would your body reject it like a normal splinter? Well, the bone is made up of your cells, meaning your immune system wouldn't see it as a foreign object. Instead, it would become part of your finger as your
What?
skin grew around it. And if it was really small, your body would start to break down the bone cells. These would be absorbed into your blood, meaning the splinter would totally disappear.
Dang, that's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm wanting more off this video than like my whole 12 years of being in school.
The whale swallowed the man and his kayak
Dang!
whole.
Ate that
Before
boy
he
up.
could react, he was inside the whale's mouth, surrounded by darkness and thick, slimy rows of teeth. For a few terrifying moments, its massive jaws closed, trapping him inside. Then, just as suddenly, the whale spit him back out, and the man swam away completely unharmed.
Was this based on a true story? Because I ain't gonna lie, that boy got a story to tell, my boy. That boy got ate up. Yo, no mercy. Thank you for the raid, my boy. With 7 viewers, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. All love.
If they tripped on the wire, it would set off a hidden gun in the graveyard. You see, grave robbers would dig up corpses at night, selling them to medical students for research. To stop them,
okay.
these guns were set up at the foot of the graves, and 3 trip wires were attached, fanning out in every direction. If the robbers set one off, the gun would swivel to face him, shooting him down before he could steal the corpse.
Bro, imagine you waking up from the dead, bro, and then you wake up, you rise from the ground, boom! Now you going back down, my boy. Boom! You dead. You dead. How you doing, Geta? W Mercy Ray? Yes, sir. Thank you, Mercy. I appreciate it. Thank you.
He was swimming in a lazy river when a piece of his goggles fell through a grate. They lifted it up and the boy swam down, but his legs slipped into the drain and no amount of struggling could free it. Adults desperately tried to save him as he lost consciousness, but it took over 9 minutes to yank him loose.
He survived?
He had stopped breathing when he was rushed to the hospital, but after 11 days, he finally recovered.
Let's go. W mans, bro. But I'm not gonna lie, in being in the pool, those grays at the bottom of the pool low-key scare me. Like growing up, they scared me. I'm thinking like it's finna suck me down. Pause. Thank you, Mercy. I appreciate it, gang. Thank you. I think them boys gonna suck me down and keep me down, bro. Real talk. I ain't gonna lie. I was scared.
Thousands of leaflets dropped from the sky, telling him that World War II was over. But he thought it was a trick from the enemy meant to lure him out. So he stayed hidden in the jungle, living off coconuts and stolen rice. He watched planes fly overhead and thought Japan was still fighting, not realizing it was for a completely different war. Finally, 30 years later,
30 years?
his commander showed up and ordered him to stand down. The man saluted, handed over his rifle, and finally left the war that had ended 30 years prior.
This dude lived 30 years in a cave just to find out the war wasn't even going on. This man was dedicated to his army. That's respect, my boy. Zaris, you need to chill for a minute. All right, let me chill.
She fell onto the tracks and was cut in half by an oncoming train.
Bro, what's up with these fatalities? She got cut in half?
And those who hear the story of her death are soon haunted by her spirit. The ghost has no lower body, and she moves by dragging herself with her hands.
Bro,
As she does,
did she turn into a whole crawler of zombies on Call of Duty, bro? Because, yo, I always make crawlers on on Call of Duty. Like, she turns into a whole crawler on Call of Duty, my boy.
her bones make a clicking noise, giving her the name Tech Tech. If she finds you walking alone at night, she'll chase you down with supernatural speed. And if she catches you, legend says she'll slice you in half, leaving you legless just like her.
Dude, I don't remember the crawlers on zombies being that quick. Like, they were like, and it was so slow. How you doing, real Munch? Yo, you a Munch? Yeah, I have a gaming channel already. Munch.
He bit into the man's face. You could stuff a tire in your mouth. The elevator shot upward. It pulled his body up. The bear charged at the woman in her backyard.
I'm pretty sure everyone has scrolled through at least one of these videos before. Yes, we're talking about...
His 80 films is crazy, bro.
His truck veered off the road and into a steep ravine before landing in a creek. Now, somehow the man survived, but he was severely injured and only managed to crawl 100 yards from the wreck. As night fell, he collapsed, exhausted, with only his dogs for company. But one of them left him, running 4 miles back to his family. It barked frantically to warn them that something was wrong. And the next morning, they finally found him. Rescuers pulled him to safety and he survived, all thanks to his loyal dog.
Bro, W dog in the comment section, bro. Everybody coming out W dog, because that's a dog. Listen, a dog is a man's best friend, man. A man's best friend. Thank you for the follow, Cha. Appreciate it, man.
As they pulled up to the haunted lighthouse, his friend told him that anyone who went up never came back down. No bodies, no answers, just gone forever.
They're having a whole Diddy party up there. That's why he didn't come back.
He warned his friend not to go, but curiosity got the better of him. He told him he would call from the top to prove he was okay. Phone in hand, he stepped through the door and disappeared up the stairs. The climb was long, but at the top, there was nothing, really. Just a quiet room and an ocean view. Not scary at all. He pulled out his phone, but there was no service. And that's when he noticed it.
He's cooked. No service mean you're dead. You're gone.
Small room off to the side. In it was an old rotary phone, still connected. He picked it up and called his friend, and let him know he was speaking from an old phone he found in this cool room. The friend froze. There was no phone or room in this lighthouse. He circled the base, looked up, and saw him standing on an old rotting plank, holding his cell phone. A gust of wind came hard off the sea. The call cut out, and only the lighthouse remained.
That dude just fell to his death, man. That's crazy.
They light the bundle of smoking leaves and place it directly on their heads. Thick smoke rises, clouding the air as they walk through the trees. Now, this smoke confuses the insects, forcing them out of hiding. Then the hunters snatch the bugs up with their bare hands. Each insect is quickly tossed onto the smoldering fire bundle on their heads. Then the roasted bug is taken out and eaten.
Ooh, that crunch is like, oh, I can't. Eating bugs is crazy. I mean, back in the day, they had to do what they had to do, but I can't eat no bugs, man. That's crazy. I can't do that.
The bear charged at the woman in her backyard, ready to attack. But right before it struck, her wiener dog barked and lunged at the bear, forcing it to stop. The bear swiped at the dog, slicing into its skin, but it didn't back down, and the distraction gave the woman enough time to defend herself. The dog chased the bear off, barking until it disappeared into the woods.
Bro, that dog is a savage, bro. That dog is literally a savage. That boy he's still on business. He's still on business.
He used his belt buckle to reflect sunlight towards the pilots to get their attention. You see, he had been lost in the woods for hours when it started to rain. He found shelter in a cave and spent the night there alone. The next morning, he heard helicopters flying above him. He was finally able to get their attention. The helicopter landed, the door swung open, and out stepped Harrison Ford.
Who? Harrison who?
The doors suddenly closed, trapping his shoulders between them. And before he could react, the elevator shot upward. It pulled his body up with it, while his head hit the top of the doorway. And the force instantly decapitated him.
This dude's got beheaded at it. Yo, at this point, I will never ride an elevator ever again. I'm gonna think about the exact same video if it's happened to me, bro. That's just scary, bro.
Woman saw the whole thing inside the elevator, and after his death, she was trapped for 20 minutes with his headless body until rescuers finally freed her.
That is disgusting, bro. That's crazy. Now I'm gonna have a trauma story for every time I get on the elevator, bro. I'm not gonna want to get on there no more.
She had to shave her hairy nose every
Who grows hair on their nose like that though? What?
few days just to look normal. You see, she was attacked by a dog, which bit off a chunk of her face. To fix the damage, doctors pulled down a piece of her forehead, using it to replace the missing flesh. But the new skin included part of her scalp, and the hair follicles were transplanted with it. Once it healed, they started to grow, giving her a hairy nose.
But where did brush come from? Why you brushing your nose, man? Imagine having a hairy nose. Dang.
But eventually, she actually grew to like it.
That's disgusting. That's terrible. Having hair in your nose like that is crazy.
He ran around his apartment in virtual reality, but the game didn't map his apartment properly, and as he played, he tripped on a glass table. He landed hard, which shattered it instantly, and dozens of glass shards sliced into his body. With no one there to help, he bled out quickly, and by the time he was found, he had died in both realities.
Dude, this dude died in the game and in real life, bro. That boy was playing GTA 5 and thought he had infinite lives.
They pulled out the bear's teeth and ripped out its claws to make it a fair fight. And they even cut tendons in its arm to stop it from grabbing its opponents. You see, these bears were used in live wrestling matches, which were held in bars in the 90s. People would fight the trained bears, and if they won, they could claim a cash prize. Some people would even cheat by getting the animals drunk before the match.
Bro, they torturing these bears, man. They cut this man limbs off, freaking teeth, claws, can't do nothing. Like,
but the bears were still far stronger, easily pinning the wrestlers to the ground.
That's crazy. I never knew they had a bear fight in the 90s, bro.
Hooked into his belt and took off running, dragging the emperor behind him. He slammed into rocks and trees, breaking bones and suffering internal injuries. His guards struggled to keep up as the stag continued to run over the rough terrain. After 16 miles, a servant was able to catch up and cut the belt with a knife. Finally freed, the emperor accused the servant of trying to murder him and ordered for his execution. But the emperor's injuries were too severe and he died shortly after.
Bro, how do you, dude, that's so messed up. Bro this dude running full, this was Usain Bolt running full speed for 16 miles, bro. And then you got freed and then he turned on, bro. That's messed up, man. It's El Emperor, bro. El Mans, bro. That's crazy.
They set up a baby monitor to keep an eye on their daughter because recently they had noticed open drawers and crooked window blinds, things that made them uneasy. The camera was a way to make sure nothing odd was happening. Hours later, in the middle of the night, the monitor crackled awake, instantly jolting her from sleep. She glanced at the screen and saw her husband standing over the crib, cradling their baby. She felt relieved until she realized her husband was lying right next to her.
It's a ghost.
Surged as she grabbed a baseball bat and bolted into the nursery. She turned on the light and her husband spun around, startled, clutching their baby. If this was her husband, then who was in her bed?
She's smashing the neighbor, bro. Real talk. She's smashing the neighbor. She's smashing the neighbor, my boy.
The vat was filled with a strange greasy substance, along with human bones and a gold ring. Now, the owner told the police that his wife had run away, but when they searched the basement of his sausage factory, they discovered that he had boiled her body in caustic chemicals and dissolved nearly all of her remains. People believe that he had been planning to turn the rest of her in.
This dude was feeding his wife to people. He will cut her body up and make sausages and feed it to the public. That is disgusting. That's crazy. At this point, bro, I don't eat sausages at all because they're made out of anything. Like, sausage is made out of everything, which is disgusting. That is so bad. That's a crazy word.
Into sausage. He was immediately taken to court where he was sentenced to life in prison. He tried to light his shoe on fire mid-flight, but the attendants smelled the burning matches and saw what he was doing. Passengers and crew wrestled him to the ground, and eventually he was sedated. And when they checked his shoes, they discovered a fuse sticking out of each one. It turned out they were stuffed with enough explosives to bring down the entire plane. And that's why you have to take off your shoes at the airport.
So he's the reason why I gotta do everything at the airport because of this goofy. Like, I don't like to, like, nowadays sometimes, like, some airports don't allow shoes to be taken off, but like, that's crazy. And your shoes crazy work, man.
She slammed into him, and he flew through her windshield. But she was drunk, and instead of calling for help, she drove home with him still stuck in the glass. Once she was in her garage, she apologized, only to leave him there for 2 more days as he bled out. When he finally died, she and her friends stuffed his corpse into a car trunk and dumped it in the park. But after she bragged about it at a party, police
Yeah, she's stupid, dude. That's crazy. She is stupid, bro. She killed somebody and then bragged about it. That's like you telling the internet what you did. It's just dumb criminals, bro.
Discovered her crime. If the seatbelt is around your pregnant belly and you get into a crash, it can transfer the force directly into your stomach. And this can cause the entire placenta to rip off completely, leaving your baby without a way to breathe. Now, you might think skipping the belt altogether might be safer.
It's not
but even
safe.
A sudden stop can throw your body forward, crushing your belly against the steering wheel.
Dude, that poor baby.
So instead, place it below your belly and across your hips. This spreads the force of the crash over your body, saving you and your baby's life.
See, now you notice your future wife, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, make sure she has it under her belly, over her belly, you know, to save the baby.
As he tucked his daughter in, she looked scared and asked him to check the closet. The father smiled and walked over, but as he pulled the closet door open, his face went numb. It was his daughter. She was crying, trembling. He completely froze in horror before snapping his head back to the bed.
Oh no, I will just leave the room, bro, because the daughter's haunted, bro.
It was empty.
Daughter's haunted.
He was panicked for a moment, but he shook it off. It must have just been his imagination. He calmed his daughter, tucked her in for real this time, and left the room. The dark room settled for a moment, but then the closet door slowly creaked open.
Dude, this is some horrible. Oh shit! One plus one is 2. You know, chat? No, turtles, they can breathe underwater and outside the water too as well. Why did that get me so bad? Why? You know what, bro? Zack D Films, you're an L. You're an L. You're an L for that. You're an L for that. That. Bitch ass nigga.
A pigeon slammed right into
my body took a whole screenshot, bro.
His face, and he instantly lost consciousness while riding his motorcycle. But as he blacked out, his hand twisted the throttle, pushing the bike's speed beyond 120 miles per hour.
Going crazy.
Within seconds, he veered off the road and smashed straight into a tree, flying through the air. He landed hard on the pavement, shattering his leg and causing multiple fractures to his skull. Fortunately, he was
lived?
rushed to the hospital where he managed to survive.
That's a blessing, bro. Because going 120 miles an hour in a street on a motorcycle, bro, you're dead on impact. Boom, you're gone. You're gone. That was all God, my boy. Everybody coming out, God dead. And this is based on a true story.
The chainsaw kicked back. It lodged in his skin.
Oh my gosh, it's so
just
graphic.
short of a major artery. Rescuers rushed to help, but removing the chainsaw would have caused him to bleed out in seconds. So they left it in place, carefully holding it steady as they took him to the hospital. And finally, surgeons were able to remove it, saving the man's life.
Wow, dude, that chainsaw that was hitting back your neck like that is crazy work, man. That's a face flat incident, bro. Real talk.
A spy saw Washington crossing the river, planning a surprise attack. He quickly wrote a note and sent it to warn his commander. But when it arrived, the commander was busy playing cards and didn't bother to read it. Instead, he stuffed it into his pocket and kept playing. The next morning, Washington's troops attacked, catching the British off
Was
guard.
this real?
During the fight, the commander was shot and fell to the ground. And as he lay there dying, the unread note that could have saved his life fell from his pocket.
That's why you take your job serious, man. That boy, he got caught lacking. He got caught lacking, bro. That's what happened. You can't get caught lacking out here in this world, man. You gotta be on your A game. Be on your P's and Q's at all points, man.
She fell on her metal straw. The lid held it in place, and this caused it to impale her eye. It
Bro, at this point, dude, anything can take you out, bro. Anything can kill you, bro.
pierced through her socket and went right into her brain. And by the time she was
What?
found, she was completely unresponsive. The 10-inch straw stayed in her skull until she made it to the hospital.
Oh my
But even though
gosh.
doctors removed it, the brain injury killed her in the end.
That is sad, bro. So you can't run with scissors, and you cannot run with a drink in your hand now, because it can just go through your eye. I can literally felt that hit my eye. You felt that too? Make sure I'm not tripping, because I felt that too.
His skin froze before turning black as he rode his motorcycle in the
frostbite.
freezing cold. And it was so bad that both his legs had to be amputated.
That's sad,
the doctors
bro.
noticed his injuries were too perfect, and the weather wasn't cold enough for frostbite. They discovered he'd actually left his feet in dry ice for 10 hours before he got
Why
on the
he did
motorcycle.
that?
You see, he was convinced he'd get millions in insurance and staged the accident, but he only received around $7,000.
Imagine getting your legs cut off and you get $7,000. Now you have to walk around with no legs the rest of your life because you tried to lie about it. Bro, was it worth it? No, it was not worth it, my boy. Even it's not, getting frostbite is not worth millions of dollars, right? Anyway, it's not worth no amount of money. Like, being able not to walk is just like crazy, man.
$1,000, and after he was caught, he had to pay it back.
He had to pay it back. Lost his legs for no reason, literally for no reason.
He was punched in the head so hard he saw a flash of white, and he soon realized his vision had changed. Curved objects started to look pixelated, and
That boy knocked some sense into him.
tap water seemed to flow in jagged lines. Everywhere he looked, he saw complex mathematical patterns, even though he hated math before. And without any training, he began drawing detailed geometric shapes. The attack had turned him into a math genius, and he went on to teach all over the world.
Dude, that boy got that boy. Like I said, he got some sense knocked into him, bro. Some sense knocked into him, bro. Bro got the daylights knocked out of him. Yeah, he became a genius.
A woman tied her barking dog outside her house, according to the story. And when the neighbors called the police, they decided to shoot it. But their aim
What?
was terrible,
Bro, they shoot that man because he, bro.
and one
Of course, he could shoot at the black dog, bro. Of course.
bullet hit the leash, freeing the animal. As it ran through the yard, they
That
kept
boy-
firing into the dark.
That boy over here dodging
Owner
bullets.
stepped out, and she was hit right in the heart. She was
Dang.
killed instantly, while the dog survived.
Bro, what happened to them officers? If that was real, them officers, they going to jail, bro.
He jumped out of the plane, but his parachute got stuck, yanking him back and leaving him dangling mid-air. The
Oh.
cords wrapped around the plane's tail wheel, spinning him wildly as the plane kept flying. The crew tried to pull him up, but he was too far, and if they landed, he would be crushed. Two pilots on the ground saw what was happening and rushed to help. They flew a small plane right under him, getting dangerously close. One man reached out and grabbed him, while the other used the plane's propeller to cut the parachute's cords. This freed the man, and he was pulled into the plane just in time.
I don't think this is real though, cause that you know how hard it is, bro, to do that, bro, and not get cut up by the plane.
His pants burst into flames, burning his skin before he could take them off. And he wasn't the only one. It was happening to farmers all over New Zealand in the 1930s. This happened because they used a strong weed killer, but they didn't know it was super flammable and had soaked into their clothes. A tiny spark was enough to ignite into flames, and even the heat from the sun could make their pants catch fire. Some farmers got badly burned, and others were lucky to even escape. Eventually, they discovered what was causing it and stopped using the chemical.
Bruh, imagine getting caught on fire back in the 1930s for no reason. What's this guy want? What do you want? What do you want, boy?
What you doing, bro?
I'm streaming right now.
Oh shit, what are you playing?
Nothing, I'm just streaming right now. I thought you were coming over, bruh.
No, I'm not coming over, bro. I'm trying to play something.
Chat, he's mad he lost to me in the race.
Funny.
Hey, I'll call you after this video. All right.
The crocodile ripped through the
Yo, why is he biting his balls off, bro? Why he gonna bite that man balls off like that?
grabbing the man in its.
Like, look at this.
The crocodile ripped through the
He biting that man balls off like that. Like, you see that, chat?
crocodile ripped through the
That's crazy work, man.
tent, grabbing the man in its jaws. He screamed at his wife to protect their baby as he was dragged toward the water.
This dude getting dragged by the balls, bro. That's literally the worst way to die, bro. Hey, that crocodile is zesty, bro.
But a grandmother camping nearby heard his cries. She ran out and jumped onto the croc, causing it to let go and attack her instead. Her nose was smashed by its snout before it grabbed a hold of her arm. But finally, her son found his rifle and shot the creature 4 times. The crocodile died, and both its victims were airlifted to a hospital.
This dude has no kids, bro. Like, he has no balls at all. His balls are ripped off, bro. That mud was like munching on that mud. He munching on them, bro. That's crazy.
And fully recovered.
Weird that crocodile, not for real.
He saw what looked like a human arm buried beneath the sand. At first, he thought he found a dead body, but as soon as he pushed the sand out of the way, he realized the arm was made out of bronze. The man had just found 2 ancient Greek statues, which had been preserved under the sea for over 2,000 years.
Oh, he's rich now.
Experts rushed to the scene, and the statues were carefully removed. They're now displayed as one of the most impressive discoveries of ancient Greek art.
Bro, I would have kept that mud, gatekeeped it, and sold it to them, bro. Why doesn't this happen to you? You get bit in the balls by a crocodile, my boy?
Newborn baby would be able to lift a small table if
way.
they had the strength of an ant. You see, ants can lift up to 50 times their body weight, thanks to their light bodies and strong muscles. And if humans had the same strength, a teenager would be strong enough to carry motorcycles without breaking a sweat. And an adult could effortlessly lift and move large trucks.
That's a bad. Dang,
with just
why
their
you crush
bare
that dude like
hands.
that? He kind of bad built though. Ugh.
They say he had a second face on the back of
Dude, that's a weird looking thing on the back of his neck, bro. That
his
is
head.
disgusting.
One that could smile, cry, and even whisper terrible things at night. Legend has it that the face couldn't eat or speak, but it was said to laugh when he cried and mutter words only he could hear. No doctor would remove it, and the man claimed it tormented him constantly.
Bro, all you gotta do, bro, is put some tape over his mouth and he'd be done.
And according to the legend, he couldn't take it anymore and ended his own life, leaving behind a chilling note about his suffering.
Dang, that's sad, bro.
If you fart in the middle
Alright, yo, what is this, bro? What is this, bro? Like, why is the man farting like that, bro?
if you fart
Like, that is disgusting, bro. That man got farted in his face, bro.
in the middle of a surgery, it can cause a fire. And this is because your
Fire
farts
booty?
release small amounts of
Is that fire butt chat? What is
because
man
you're
doing?
And this is because your farts release small amounts of highly flammable gases. If the surgeon is using a laser, the tool can create sparks as they cut tissue. If enough gas builds up near the surgical site, the spark can ignite it. This can cause a sudden burst of fire, which can burn you and the surgeon.
Imagine getting farted on, bro.
Cause a sudden burst of
That
fire.
is disgusting, bro. That's crazy. Green ass farts, for real.
The boiler exploded in the theater, sending 6-year-old Bobby flying into a wall. He died from his injuries, and in the 70 years since then, strange things have happened. Actors forget their lines, lights flicker, and props go missing. Even audience members lose valuable items. To make this stop, actors started leaving candy and toys for Bobby, and others even offer alcohol at the backstage shrine. No one knows if it's a prank or something paranormal, but if you visit, don't forget to leave Bobby a gift.
I ain't leaving that man nothing, bro. Like, what you talking about? I ain't leaving that man nothing, bro. Like, what?
If you strapped a baby to a pair of Cybertrucks to pull them, you would need 5,000 of them just to make them move. Now, if you did the same thing with
Yo, why they eating the babies though?
anacondas, it would take at least 160 of the giant snakes to pull the truck. But if you got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to tow the trucks, you would need just 1.5 of him to get them rolling.
Bruh, this man cut the whole snake in half and pulled into the trucks by the snake.
The gum exploded inside his mouth the moment he started chewing.
I'm never chewing gum. Well, he said what? Let me see.
The gum exploded inside his mouth the moment he started chewing.
I'm never chewing gum. I'm never chewing gum ever again, bro. I'm never doing that, bro. I'm never chewing gum ever again.
See, before chewing gum, he liked to dip it in citric acid to make it sour. But one night, he accidentally grabbed the wrong jar. Instead of citric acid, he coated his gum in an explosive chemical, and it instantly destroyed his jaw.
Yeah, he's dumb, bro. That is crazy. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That is crazy. Chewing gum
destroyed his jaw and lower face. His family heard the blast and ran to his room, but he was already dead.
Yeah, bro, lay it out for sure.
His gum exploded. The gum
Dead by chewing gum. Crazy.
A surgeon makes an incision on the top of your head and removes the bald skin.
Why do I feel that on my head right now, bro? Like, no BS.
Then they pull the hair-covered scalp on the side of your head upwards, stretching it over the top. And once
they made a house on his head, bro. Like, what?
Once both sides meet in the middle, they're pulled together to close the gap. Stitches are used to hold the skin in place while it heals. And over time, the remaining hair spreads out, making you look less bald. The robber fired the gun right at his head, but at the same time...
So you telling me this man seen the bullet come before you telling me this man tracked the bullet come out the gun, bro?
The man put his hands up to cover his face.
There's no way you reacted that fast. You reacted that fast before the bullet hit you to cover your face, bro? No way.
And instead of piercing through his skull, the bullet struck his wedding ring. It deflected off the metal, splitting it into 2 pieces. One got stuck in his finger and the other pierced his neck. But apart from minor injuries and a dented ring, the man walked away unharmed.
That ring saved his life, man. That's how you know the power of marriage is a good thing. Strong marriage is a good thing.
How much blood could a tick drink before it pops? At first, it's tiny, but as it drinks, its body stretches like a balloon, and it can inflate up to 50 times its normal size. But if the tick kept drinking, the pressure would build as it swells up to the size of a grape, and then eventually bursts. Now, leeches can grow up to 11 times
I hate leeches, bro. Leeches
around
are so
17
disgusting.
inches when fully engorged. But if they drink too much, their stretched out bodies split open and they die.
Ugh.
As the mysterious object crashed, the military reported it as a flying saucer.
Area
But
51.
within hours, officials changed the story, claiming it was a weather balloon. Witnesses came forward describing strange debris and alien bodies at the crash site. An officer from the investigation even claimed the debris was extraterrestrial. Finally, the Air Force released a report claiming the UFO was actually a top-secret spy balloon. But
They
for
be lying all the time, bro.
many, this only deepened the mystery.
Yeah, it's Area. Is that Area? No, there is aliens at Area 51.
The frozen patty is pressed between two heated metal plates. This cooks both sides at the same time,
And it's never good, bro. It's never good, bro.
sealing in the juices. In just 40 seconds, the patty is fully cooked and moved to a heating tray.
That can't be
At the
healthy.
same time, the buns
It's
pass
McDonald's.
through a toaster to warm them up. Then the
Look at these.
toppings
I knew it was
are
McDonald's.
added, and a ketchup gun squirts the perfect amount onto the bun. It's then wrapped and served in just a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't eat McDonald's because it's so bad for you. The food is not healthy. Kid you not, when I was a kid, a piece of fry fell down the seat. 3 years later, 4 years later, bro, that same fry looks the exact same like from day one. Like, it is not real food. There's no way. It's chemicals, bro.
As the bus plunged into the lake, he watched on in horror, but he was a champion swimmer and dived in without hesitation. Over and over, he swam 30 feet down in the freezing water, pulling victims from the bus and bringing them to shore. This went on for almost half an hour, and
Dang.
he saved 20 people before collapsing from exhaustion. His lungs became severely infected from the polluted water, ending his athletic career. But his heroic act was never forgotten.
Yeah, at least he got something out of it, man. But that is crazy. Pulling 20 people out like that, no, everybody survived. That's a W, bro. W man's, bro. That's he using his blessings to save people's lives. That's what it's all about, bro. Real talk.
The redheads would rise from the dead as
redhead.
vampires, hunting for blood according to the legend. You see, people in ancient Greece believed they wouldn't stay buried after death. That's because red hair was uncommon in that region, and some thought it was a sign of supernatural powers. Because redheads often had pale skin and burned easily,
So they were
in the
racist back in the day.
They were linked to creatures of the night, and some feared them so much that red-haired bodies were burned to stop them from returning.
Bro, they discriminated, bro. Imagine if it was me back in the day. They see a big black man. They gonna take me out, bro. They gonna take me out, man. Yo, like, yeah, that's crazy, man. That's traumatizing, bro. Plants vs. Zombies based on a true story. Hairism. Hairism videos. Yo, with that being said, good gang. That'd be all for today's video. Make sure y'all leave a like, subscribe if you're new. And comment down your favorite part of the video or the craziest part of the video. I genuinely want to see. I want to see what y'all think. What's the craziest part of this video, man? Because I ain't a lot of stuff happened in this video, and like that joint's crazy. That being said, good gang. Whew. Yeah, bro. Oh, that's crazy. Even Butler, like, he got some hair too. That is funny, man. Bye. That is funny, man. That's hilarious. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. 1 second.